There are certain video games that everybody loves to make fun of. Maybe the reviews were terrible, maybe the graphics aged like milk, maybe the game was aggressively uncool even when it came out. And yet, somehow, everybody played it. Not just played it either, we're talking dozens of hours, sleepovers, rented copies from Blockbuster of all places, arguments with siblings, and entire weekends completely vaporized. Then years later, everybody suddenly develops amnesia. Oh, that game? Yeah, I barely played that. Sure you did. Today we're opening the vault and exposing 10 video games that people love to pretend they didn't absolutely adore. And before anybody gets mad, this list isn't saying these games were bad. Honestly, some of them are great. The point is that for one reason or another, they became games people started acting embarrassed to admit they enjoyed. So prepare to have your childhood save file used against you. Let's start with number 10. Wii Sports. There was a weird period of time where serious gamers acted like Wii Sports barely counted as a video game. It came bundled with the Wii. Your grandma played it. Your parents played it. People who had never touched a controller in their lives were suddenly standing in the living room aggressively swinging a Wii remote at a television. So obviously the hardcore gaming community had to pretend it was beneath them. Except everybody played Wii Sports. Everybody. You bowled. You played tennis. You tried boxing once, realizing it required actual physical effort, and quietly went back to bowling. And then there was baseball, where somehow, gently flicking your wrist would launch a ball 400 feet. Wii Sports was one of those rare games where nobody needed an explanation. You could hand somebody a controller, and within 30 seconds, they understood exactly what was happening. And that made it unbelievably fun at parties. There were living rooms full of people screaming over bowling strikes like somebody just won the Super Bowl. And everybody, somehow, years later, they started talking about the Wii like it was like this weird casual console that they barely touched. Meanwhile, their Wii Sports bowling score was 287. You weren't casually playing. You were training. And that is Wii Sports. Number 9, Guitar Hero. At its peak, Guitar Hero made millions of people genuinely believe they were rock stars. You would stand in front of a television holding a plastic guitar with 5 giant colored buttons while a cartoon version of a guitar is played on screen. And somehow, it felt so freaking awesome. There was something magical about finally nailing a difficult section of a song. You didn't just complete a level, you performed. And you were playing in front of your friends. Suddenly, every song became a concert. People were doing dramatic guitar poses. Oh, those were the best. Just the guitar poses of your friends. Just when they're shredding out, bro. Or when they're behind the back. You know, those were just so fantastic. Leaning backwards, doing solos, trying to hit the whammy bar. At exactly the right moment. Some people even started using guitar strap or a plastic controller, people. We took this very seriously. Then eventually the rhythm game explosion became so enormous that everybody just kind of burnt out. There were new Guitar Hero games constantly. Rock bands showed up. Entire closets became graveyards for plastic instruments. I'll tell you what, over there in the corner, yeah, my Rock Band drum set is literally sitting there, staring at me, haunting me. And eventually it became fashionable to make fun of the whole thing. But tell me you don't still hear the opening notes of Through the Fire and Flames and immediately remember the panic. Guitar Hero wasn't embarrassing. Guitar Hero was a cultural event. We just collectively decided to stop talking about how much we loved it. Number 8, The Sims. The Sims has always existed in this strange gaming category where millions of people play it, but somehow nobody talks about it with the same seriousness as other massive franchises. And I think part of that is because explaining what you actually do in The Sims sounds ridiculous. I spent 4 hours building a house. Okay. And then I made a fake version of myself. Sure. And then I trapped my neighbor in a room without a door.
Kind of down here. If you throw juice in my face, I'm gonna lose my mind. She's not happy. She's just gonna throw juice right on the ground.
There it is. The Sims gave everybody unlimited access to a tiny digital universe where we could live out our own dreams or conduct highly questionable social experience, sometimes both. You could build your dream house, start a family.
She's currently, where the heck is Ashley? Oh, fell asleep in the backyard again.
Become extremely wealthy, become a criminal, set the kitchen on fire making macaroni. Fun story though. I once turned macaroni into a frisbee. Yeah. Another on that in a future video. Depending on your age when you played, there was a decent chance you learned that removing the ladder from a swimming pool had consequences.
And sure enough, yep, you can still delete ladders So now your sim is completely stuck. This is honestly kind of dark. They're not going to be able to get out.
The Sims is one of the best-selling video game franchises ever, yet you rarely hear someone dramatically announce that they're a hardcore Sims player. But millions of us absolutely lost entire afternoons to this game. You would sit down intending to play for 30 minutes, then suddenly it was 2 a.m., and your Sim was divorced, unemployed, and arguing with a ghost. That game had range.
Alright, Squirrel, your man.
Number 7, Pokemon Go.
So it's been a
For approximately one magical summer, society completely lost its mind. Pokemon Go released in 2016, and suddenly somebody and everybody went outside. Parks were packed. People were wandering out on parking lots, staring at their phones. Groups of strangers were yelling because somebody found a Charizard. Businesses started advertising nearby Pokestops. And grown adults were crossing streets because a digital Squirtle appeared on the other side. It was chaos. Beautiful, beautiful chaos. Even people who hadn't played Pokemon in 20 years downloaded Pokemon Go. For a brief moment, it felt like the entire world had just joined this gigantic scavenger hunt. Then eventually the excitement cooled off. Some people kept playing, a lot of people quit, and suddenly everyone started pretending they hadn't been wandering around at midnight looking for a Vaporeon. Yes, you were. We saw you. Pokemon Go is especially funny because people now describe it like some weird little mobile game phase, but at its peak, it was enormous. There will never be another gaming moment quite like that first summer. Number 6, Farmville. This one is going to unlock some memories people probably wanted buried. That is Farmville, the Facebook game. The one where your aunt kept sending you notifications. The one that somehow convinced millions of people that harvesting digital corn was an important daily responsibility. Farmville turned social media into farming simulator, and somehow it worked. People scheduled their day around crops. You couldn't just plant something and forget it. Heck no. Those strawberries had a timer, and if you didn't come back, disaster would strike. Suddenly you were checking Facebook because your imaginary vegetables required supervision. The genius of Farmville, honestly, was that it was incredibly simple. Anybody could play it, and because your friends were playing it too, it became this bizarre, social experience and social ecosystem. You weren't just farming. You were comparing farms, sending gifts, visiting neighbors, slowly realizing that somebody you went to high school with had a disturbingly impressive collection of digital cows. A moo-moo! Then social games became kind of uncool. Facebook game notifications became annoying, and everyone collectively agreed that we should stop playing Farmville, which is interesting considering somebody was responsible for those hundreds of millions of users. Apparently, it was just ghosts. Number 5, Just Dance. There are 2 types of people in this world. People who admit they played Just Dance and liars. Just Dance has survived for years because the basic idea is nearly impossible to mess up. Put on a song, copy the person on screen. Immediately became way more competitive than the situation requires. That's it. You could just put Just Dance on in front of a room full of people who barely play video games, and suddenly everybody is participating. Somewhere during the night, one person becomes terribly good at it. There's always one. They know the choreography. They know the bonus moves. They aren't watching the screen anymore. At some point, they're not even playing against them. You're watching a professional. And yet, Just Dance has always carried that weird stigma of being a casual party game. So naturally, gamers sometimes pretend they never touched it. Because meanwhile, you knew every move to Rasputin. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Number 4, Candy Crush Saga. Candy Crush might be one of the greatest examples of a game everyone mocked while simultaneously playing constantly. You saw it everywhere. Phones, tablets, waiting rooms, airports, family gatherings. People would pull out their phone for 30 seconds and suddenly they're moving colorful candy around like their mortgage depends on it. Because Candy Crush became associated with mobile gaming, people loved making fun of it. That's not a real game. Then why have you been stuck on level 347 for 3 weeks? Yeah, tell me that, Cindy. Candy Crush understood something incredibly powerful about video games. Like, you don't always need a giant open world. You don't need realistic graphics. You don't need a filthy 50-hour campaign. Sometimes you just need a satisfying little puzzle, and the psychological devastation of being one move away from winning. God, that sucks. Then the game politely asks if you'd like to try again. Of course you would, because you have unfinished business with Candy Crush. Number 3, Fortnite. I know, this one might be a hot topic, but Fortnite might be the ultimate game people pretend they're too cool for. For years, it became fashionable to make fun of Fortnite. Like, it's for kids, the dances are annoying, the building is ridiculous, and yet Fortnite became one of the biggest games on Earth. Millions upon millions of people played it, and not just kids, adults played it. Streamers built careers around it, celebrities appeared in it, Movies prompted themselves inside it. Concerts happened inside it. That's insane, right? Fortnite stopped being just a video game and became some kind of gigantic digital theme park. And I guarantee there are people watching this right now who spent a ridiculous amount of time and money playing Fortnite, but suddenly became very quiet once the game became something everyone joked about. You know who you are. And somewhere buried deep inside is an old Epic Games account. There's probably a skin you paid actual money for. Your secret's safe here. It's okay. Just mostly safe. Number 2, Minecraft. It's hard to imagine now because Minecraft has become one of the most influential games ever made. But there was absolutely a period where people acted like Minecraft was just a weird block game for kids. Especially when Minecraft became massively popular on YouTube.
I cannot believe we're here. This is the very beginning of our journey.
Suddenly the internet was full of Minecraft videos, Minecraft songs, animations, merchandise, and everything. If you were older, there was this strange pressure to act like you had outgrown it. Meanwhile, the same people criticizing Minecraft had spent 80 hours building an underground castle. Minecraft is one of those games that sneaks past your defenses.
Here we go.
You start by punching a tree. Then you build a tiny wooden house. Then you find some iron. Yummy. Then suddenly 3 weeks have passed and you're constructing a fully functioning rail network between 2 enormous medieval cities. And the beauty of Minecraft is that almost everybody plays differently. Some people survive, some people build, some people explore.
No, it's real. It's actually real.
Some people spend 6 hours designing just a kitchen. And some people immediately dig straight down even though they've been repeatedly told not to. Minecraft became so culturally massive that pretending you didn't like it eventually became harder than simply admitting the truth. The block game was incredible. Which brings us to number 1. And this game might have created more fake denial than anything else on this list. Number 1, Wii Sports Resort. Yes, we're going back to Wii, baby, because Wii Sports Resort was secretly one of the greatest party games ever made. Swordplay, wakeboarding, woo, archery, basketball, Rio, table tennis, chink chink, golf, bowling.
What do you mean you spare no food? Shut up!
And of course, flying that little airplane around Woohoo Island while pretending you weren't having the time of your freaking life. Wii Sports Resort took everything fun about the original Wii Sports and turned it into a vacation. For some reason, because it was colorful, simple, and attached to the Wii, people rarely talk about it with the same nostalgia as something like Halo 3 or Modern Warfare 2. Put Wii Sports Resort in front of a group of people today and see what happens. Within 10 minutes, somebody is violently swinging a Wii remote during swordplay because they're just ferocious. Somebody is yelling that motion controls cheated them.
You move the Wii remote like it's a paddle, which sounds simple enough, but in practice it's really frustrating and clunky.
And one person has quietly become an archery specialist. That was the magic of these games. They didn't need to be cool. They didn't need to win Game of the Year. They just needed to be fun, right? After all, that's what games are all about, fun. And maybe that's the real reason we pretend we didn't love some of these games. Gaming culture has always had this weird habit of deciding which games we're supposed to take seriously. Some games are prestigious. Some games are hardcore. Some games are apparently acceptable to spend 500 freaking hours playing. That's crazy. Then there are games you're supposedly supposed to feel embarrassed about. But if you had fun, honestly, who cares? If you spent an entire summer catching Pokemon, built a ridiculous Minecraft castle, destroyed your living room playing Just Dance, or became emotionally invested in a digital strawberry field, that counts. Those memories are part of gaming too. And honestly, sometimes the games we pretend we're dumb are the ones we remember the most. So now I want to hear yours. What game did you absolutely love that you would never have admitted to your friends? Drop it in the comments. There's no judgment on this side. Maybe just a little bit of judgment. But of course, if you enjoyed today's video, subscribe to Nerd Vault and stick around because we've got plenty more gaming history, nostalgia, culture, and wonderfully nerdy stuff coming your way. Thanks for watching all, and until next time, stay nerdy.